Good afternoon, Oron K here with another War of the Visions video. Nah, it's Chris, but today we're taking a look at our new free-to-play account here at day 17. It's raid week in War of the Visions, so not much to talk about for the experienced players. Thought it might be a good time to check in with our new account, show you where we're at just over 2 weeks in. Remember, we started this account during Charlotte Week, and there's a lot of new players coming into the game in preparation for Final Fantasy VII, so this should give you a decent idea of where you can be about 2 weeks in with your account. I want to go through how and why we push the banner unit up to level 120, so we'll see how far I got with that and Charlotte. In addition, I want to talk about how you collect Visiore quickly and prepare yourself for the next banner that you'll be focusing on. You can see the juicy 37,000 Visiore I have here, and I've barely scratched the surface. Lastly, we'll go through just a few general tips, tricks, and advice for newer players. For those of you who are experienced players watching this, please put your thoughts and tips in the comment section below to help out newer players. Anything that I don't mention or that helped you as you were starting your account. Do me a solid, do that YouTube thing. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thanks for joining us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at Charlotte. We're going to see how far I got here 17 days in, and I didn't quite get to 120, but I was kind of lazy with this account. I didn't spawn as many Whimsy shops as I could have. I think I very well could have gotten to level 120. You can see I have her ready to go to level 115, which we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll use our Blossoms of Paradise. We'll level her up to level 22 on her job. You can see that adds the max levels up, which will go unlock later, which would put her at level 115. We ended about 190 shards short, which overall, if I had spawned more Whimsy shops, checked the shop a little more diligently, I had a busy week, we definitely could have got there. It would have been another 10,000 Visiore, so we'd be looking at roughly about 30,000 Visiore left in the bank with a level 120 Charlotte. That's where we ended up at. Well, if a lot of you are following along with this, you have your banner unit, you're trying to push this level up, you're going to find that you're going to be running out of these materials, like these tablets that you need for EX jobs and some of these extra high level materials. One of the things you can do is if you go into the far plane, now some of these missions can be pretty difficult to complete, especially with like rosters for starting units. Find a friend, go into multis, and you can have friend units run you through these if you're unable to beat these brutal difficulty challenges to get the EX and pink materials for job awakenings. Go in here into the brutal difficulty training quests, and usually you can find people that are doing some of these rooms. There's no rooms going on right now, but find a friend, make some friends on Reddit, Discord channels. There's people who would be happy to run through these with you. There's double drops on these as well on Saturdays, so you can get a lot of these materials really quickly on a Saturday, just like a couple of hours of farming in these multi-quests. And actually, it doesn't even cost you energy if you can find somebody who will run this for you. This is a fantastic way to get those materials and a really quick way to get those materials. One of the other questions that we're getting a lot of is how you get the fragments of thought to awaken your characters, and then EX your characters. You need a ton of these lightning fragments of thought and lightning awakening prisms. You will run out of these things really early in the game, and I'm really glad I'm doing this new account thing because I forgot how bad the crunch was on these awakening prisms. You can see I'm only holding 8 awakening prisms, and I'm only holding 55 of these fragments of thought, so I actually can't even unlock these. So how do you get more awakening prisms? How do you get more fragments of thought? Well, the very first way is by pushing through the story. So if I go to the missions here, see if this pulls up. We go over to our story quests right here. You have rewards for pushing through the story. You're going to get awakening prisms for these. So you can see I'm holding 300 of those, and then as long as you keep pushing through the story, you can get awakening materials this way. So that's way number one. We talked about doing a lot of summons on the normal banner with your guild, but that's not really a good way of doing it. The best way is by doing this. But one thing that you might have missed is if I go in here to the awakening prisms, you can see this item exchange shop right here. This is something you definitely want to use. Look at a couple of your top characters and then look at some elements that you might not be using. So for this account, I had Kilthay, Black Witch Helena, and Charlotte as my top 3 units that I'm pushing. And then I was looking for Cloud. So I know in the near future, I'm not really using any Fire or Ice Awakening Prisms. So you can go ahead and just trade these away for your Lightning Awakening Prisms. So this is another great way to get Awakening Prisms. So see, we'll just trade. I'm going up to 80 Awakening Prisms. And there you go. Don't worry too much about these in the long run. You will eventually get units that you'll need to use these for, but your account is going to be focused on 1 or 2 different elements. So there's some of the elements that you don't use quite as often. You can trade these away in the early run to push up the levels on your main units. In this example, we're using Charlotte. And you can do the exact same thing with Awakening Prisms that you can do with Fragments of Thought. Go in here, Item Exchange Shop, and again, I'm not going to be using Fire and Ice units anytime soon, so we'll just grab a few extra of these. So anyway, that's a really easy way to get a lot of these. That normal summon tip that I did in the day 5 video, you're going to have a ton of Awakening Prisms. Like I said, I think I got 100 or 120 of each element that you can trade away for the element that you need. So this is a great way to push up the level of your banner unit in this case. This is how I got Charlotte up so quickly without being limited on those Awakening Prisms and Fragments of Thought. All right, another thing that we're going to mention, and I cannot believe that me of all people forgot to mention this, and you can see I've been really lazy doing this, but Mont. Mont is a unit that I'm kind of slowing down in being able to complete quests. I think I got through like chapter 10, maybe I'm in chapter 11 in the story, and I'm actually having trouble beating some of these missions. Every single new player, you should build up your Mont. You get enough shards to bring him up to, I think, like Limit Break 4, pretty close to Limit Break 5 just from his challenge board. His shards can be bought for free. Well, not for free, but for gil, basically free in the shop. So Mont's a pretty good unit, and I wouldn't really recommend that you go EX on Mont simply because you will be limited on those EX materials really early on in your account. But getting him to level 99, you only have to use, you can see here, it uses Rainbow Fragments of Thought, which you're going to have plenty of, but it doesn't actually. They give you enough of these as your Fragments of Thought. So building Mont up, you actually won't dig into your materials for building up UR units anymore. And he's a great starter unit and starter tank. You can see my bravery at 11 right now with Mont because he's been kind of like just getting beat up in all these missions I'm doing, but that's totally okay. Getting a level 99 Mont as soon as you can just to help out your early game team. It's not somebody you'll use later in the game probably, but he's really great for starter accounts in order to push your power level up early. I don't know why I didn't recommend this sooner. I do this for all new players. Definitely build up Mont as quickly as you can to level 99. It will help your team a whole lot. Okay, let's head over to the story mode. We're gonna see how far I got. Now, pushing through the story mode, this is one of the most important things you wanna do. You can see I'm in chapter 11. I've just started to have some trouble beating these missions. Like I could probably do them on manual, but I've just been autoing through the story here. This is a great way to get a ton of Visiore because each of these missions that you do is going to give you 50 Visiore just for completing it. And then we looked at those missions earlier here in the missions tab that you get tons of extra bonus Visiore, like 1,000 or 500 or 200 just for reaching certain checkpoints in the story. So that's a great way to get tons of Visiore. And as we talked about before, Awakening Materials, Fragments of Thought. So play through the story as much as you can. This is a great way to push up your Visiore count in order to prepare for that next banner that's coming up. One more tip I want to talk about for gathering Visiore is hard quests. So if you go in here to the hard quest list, you can see I've just picked out a couple of characters I've been farming, and actually I've only been farming Helena and Charlotte as my top 2 units. The other thing you want to do is you get 10 character hard quests and 6 vision card hard quests per day. So I've been using 1, 2, 3 on these 2 units. And then what I actually do is I go in here to the world quests, and you're going to see I have a lot of these missions completed. But if you go in here, I go through here and I complete all of these missions one time, and I'm not farming them, I'm just completing them one time in order to get the bonus 50 Visiore. So you see if I go in here to the Ifrit Shard quest, If I look in this magnifying glass here, you get 50 Visiore for each of these that you complete. So definitely pick out a couple of units that you're farming every single day, but use your extra hard quests to complete a bunch of these extra missions for characters and shards that you can get for units and vision cards. We're not doing it for the shards, you're doing it just to get that 50 Visiore bonus. Prepare yourself for that next banner. So that's kind of a tip that you can take to push up your Visiore count pretty quickly as well. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the shop here, and this is actually something a lot of new players ask about and something that a lot of new players will miss, is if you go all the way down here to the bottom, every single day you're going to have these elemental shops down here at the bottom. Use these 100%. You're going to use these for your two characters that you're focused on. So in my case, we're focused on Charlotte and Black Witch Helena. So you see right here, she has shards in the shop today. For the units that you're building up, so you're going to be farming units over a long period of time through your guild barracks and your hard quests. Definitely take advantage of this elemental shop once per week to grab these shards. One of the things that new players are very hesitant about is spending Visiore on character shards, and I will tell you, in War of the Visions, this is one of the best things that you can do, is avoid the gacha and use your Visiore directly for shards, especially once you get the unit. Just buy the shards. These are almost always worth it. It'll help you push these characters to higher levels a lot quicker. Okay, the very last thing we're going to talk about in this video is I'm going to head over to my mod shop, and this is another just great general beginner tip for everybody. Join a guild as soon as you can. Go in here, you can see I have 5,800 guild medals after just 17 days, and I don't even know if I was in the guild there for a little while. But this is like 2 weeks of being in a guild. I have 5,000. Come in here, and the number one thing you're going to grab is Giza. You don't have to re-roll for her or anything because you can grab her from this shop. Grab her immediately. So we're just going to do that right now. The reason we do this is because her Trust Master reward, in case you haven't already been told by somebody else, her Trust Master reward is just ridiculous. And then another thing that you can do is you can grab 10 shards per day for Giza. So we're going to do that every single day until we run out of our guild medals. Just grab these as quick as you can. You're going to push Giza to level 99 very quickly. And I'm just going to go over to her real quick and show you why we're doing this. Everybody who plays War of the Visions knows about this already, but in case you're a newer player, you don't know what I'm talking about. Right here is her Trust Master reward. This is the Illusory Bells. You have to get a character to level 99 in order to unlock this. This is the best piece of gear in the game, hands down. It has been since launch, and it still is the best piece of gear in the game because of this Revitalize ability. It also gives you 7 agility, so 7 speed on your unit. Revitalize is just an AP auto restore on your unit for 3 turns. Just trust me, in the long run, you're going to be thankful that you built up Giza. Even if you don't use the unit, which she has her uses, she's pretty decent, but definitely get this. Push yourself towards this as early as you can. This is a huge power spike for accounts. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments section below if there's anything else that helped you guys when you started a new account, or if any of you new players who are watching this, you have any questions about how you should be building up your account. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.